Yo guys, what up? I'm going to do a kind of a retrospective. He's obviously still around, of course. He's one of the big guns on Luke Vibert, aka Wagon Christ. Um, there's so much to talk about. This video could go on for quite a while, to be honest. If I'm being quite frank, gosh, where do I begin? I first heard Wagon Christ, or okay, Luke Vibert stuff on Peel. This would have been, gosh, around maybe 90, oh gosh, early 90s, maybe 94, 95. I'm trying to remember. It was the stuff which came out on Throbbing Pouch. I heard that stuff on Peel. Um, that just grabbed me straight away. I was just like, what is this stuff? I was kind of getting into that kind of I was into the whole kind of trip hop thing at the time. I was into kind of, rap and stuff, but trip hop kind of was more kind of abstract and beat led. And I wasn't so fussed about, rhymes. And I was more about the vibe and the feeling. So yeah, we got to Luke that way. Um, I worked. I'm jumping a bit, but did some work locally when I was around 16 or something for the local council. Just some, bits and bobs kind of job during the holiday. I think it was about 4 weeks, pretty boring. But I saved up a little bit of money, and I managed to get I went to get the CD. Back then, I didn't really have any records, if I'm honest. I maybe had one or two. I was just basically buying tapes and CDs. That's what I was purchasing until I moved on to buying records. So I'll go a quick retrospective of what I've got, and then we'll talk a bit further. So kind of, this should be roughly in order, but it wasn't in order of purchase, incidentally. So I've got this one, which is Sunset Boulevard EP. These are all CDs, incidentally. I do have a lot of Wagon Christ CDs. Let's show you the lot. All got those. I think it's only a small collection, and there's a few bits I got on vinyl. This one's Sunset Boulevard EP. I got that in Portsmouth, of all places, in HMV. I remember it. I picked up a bunch of stuff. This was an R on Rising High Records. Apparently, all the stuff he did for Rising High, he didn't get paid for. So I don't know whether that applied to a lot of the other artists as well. But he got nothing for those records, for all those records and releases. That's crazy. And obviously it was Casper Pound that ran that label, and it went into administration or collapsed or whatever, and then he passed away. I don't know. Subsequently, I don't know when he passed away, but pretty sad. But yeah, basically he got nothing for that. And of course, Rising High had a lot of kind of significant artists on it, like the Black Dog and what was it? Some of the people, Balil, I think it was they, and then Mixmaster Morris, loads of different folks. So it was quite a big label, quite a significant one. Fat Lab Nightmare, that's quite an obscure record. It's kind of ambient, kind of hip hop. It's a bit of a weird one. I think it was prompted by the release he did with Jeremy Simmons on Reflex. So that came out. Veers came out, I think, before this stuff. That's a wicked. That's a wicked release. I do need that, definitely 100%. The lead track, Tin Teardrop, is just like one of my all-time favorites. Just such a wicked record. And obviously that was on Reflex, and he went to school. I don't know if he was in the same class, but he went to school with Aphex in Truro. And I've been to Cornwall a few times more recently. I love Cornwall. I love it. It's just a lovely county. Obviously you can see how that kind of vibe would come out of a county like that. It's quite kind of eccentric, very cut off, but beautiful county. Love it. In a heartbeat I'd move there if I could. Anyway, so yeah, that was Fat Lab Nightmare, which is pretty wicked. Then this was the Rizleka EP. It's a bit beat up, the CD. That was the EP which came out, I think, around the time of Throbbing Pouch. Before it, it's got Throbbing Pouch on it. Yeah, it's got Throbbing Pouch on it. The CD's a bit bashed up. Anyways, I bought that. I don't know where I got that. I probably got it from Portsmouth as well. I was picking up everything that he was releasing at a point. Everything I could grab, I was purchasing. Of course, the legendary record. Well, this is obviously a CD of Throbbing Pouch. You can see how bashed up this one is. I played this ridiculous amounts of times. This was a lot of money at the time. I think it cost me about 18 quid. So this is like mid 90s. I bought this, and so it was expensive for then, and it had a lot. It was a massive, had a lot of tunes on it. So it was like bang for your buck sort of thing. But yeah, this is just one of my all-time favorite releases. Period. I've just played this so many times. Absolutely, just an amazing release. And of course, on Rising High, then there's this other one. I guess this is on Rising High again. It's a bunch of remixes. So we've got VFO's Boomerang. I guess that's Graham Sutton. And it's got Aphex as well on it. Yeah, that was pretty cool. There was a Mowax release, Polished Solid. I've got that as well. I don't know where it's gone to. It's disappeared. I've got a few other bits on vinyl. Carrier District was kind of, obviously, I think this was Carrier District. Is this one or two? No, this is not the first. Is the first one. Yes, that's a wicked LP, wicked release. I've got a few other bits and bobs, random stuff of his on CD as well, on low recordings and things like that. That's kind of mainly it. I mean, yeah, just to summarize, obviously, everyone knows Luke, absolutely just like legendary producer, one of my all-time favorites. Just, I know he's kind of a bit of an outcast, I think a lot of those guys from the West Country are kind of a bit outcast because they're not really, especially with the kind of the jungle stuff he was doing, it didn't fit in with the kind of urban, Tottenham guys and North London guys that were producing. They weren't really, they kept those guys out because it wasn't their sound, and it was too obscure for them. And then by the same token, like some of his stuff was kind of not quite too abstract that his peers like Tom Jenkinson, Square Push and Aphex weren't, like, they liked it but they'd also diss it too, so he kind of sat somewhere between. But it's just, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to deny it, his productions, like, they, sorry guys, but they trump a lot of those original guys, and you're going to hate on me for that, but that guy can produce to a completely different level and make tunes to completely different levels. So I'm sorry if I to say it, but those original jungle guys, they're not on the same level as Luke. That's where it's at. Yes, they can produce, of course, and they've got a lot of classics, but yeah, I'm sorry, but he's on a different level. So that's it. I'm saying it. So yeah, he was basically on lots of different record labels, still putting out stuff. He was on, of course, Reflex, Ninja Tune, which is Cold Cut's label, Planet Moo, Warp Records, Rising High, of course, which, I got loads of that stuff. Mowax, which was, what the hell was the guy who ran that? Forget his name. James Lavelle, and more recently Hypercolor. Yeah, that's really it. That's Luke Vibert. I'm going to probably, I'll play something. Probably another tune off Throbbing Pouch. I got a new backdrop. I was advised by my wife. She said, have a bit of the old greenery in there. And we got some nice sun today, so we're changing it up. It's gone on a bit long, but yeah, we'll play something from Throbbing Pouch Part 2 coming up. Yo, guys, check it out. Yeah, the Part 2 of this video. Unfortunately, it's dark, so Part 2 wasn't on the same day, it was another day. So we're going to play Ring Piece on Throbbing Pouch, track 16. Not very exciting to look at the CD, but we'll just show you it anyway, and me putting it and me playing it. How exciting is that? What up? Anyways, Ring Piece, Wagon Christ, Throbbing Pouch. Enjoy.